I posted about the recent interviews, for example, with Mark Zuckerberg. His vision for Meta is to completely, practically replace the advertising agency. If Mark Zuckerberg is saying that this is what he's planned, well, bet you it's going to happen.
Regarding Amazon sellers, what leverage can they use with AI to sell better on Amazon?
If you are not using something like ChatGPT Deep Research, you're missing out. If you're not using your Amazon reviews, you're missing out. If you're not using, like, let's say ChatGPT or another image tool to concept, like, I'm not even saying, hey, use it for the end image, but to concept, you're missing out. It will give you so much edge over competitors because, let's face it, there's going to be a few really good competitors that are more advanced and use AI, but just generally, the mass market is still quite behind. Yesterday was the best time to start with it, and today is the next best. So I would be very excited if I was an Amazon seller right now.
Hi everyone, welcome on Amazon Expert Monday. Every Monday we interview Amazon experts who share some tips, some nuggets, and today I'm glad to be with Joanna Lambadjieva.
Hey,
Lambadjieva.
Well done. This was an amazing pronunciation. Well done.
I've been training before.
Yeah, I thought you would be.
How are you, Joe?
Yeah, really good. Really good. Getting some not very summery vibes from Bulgaria where I'm right now at, but Bulgaria is letting me down. By now, it should be summer, and it's not. So I'm feeling betrayed.
Oh, it's not sunny in Bulgaria now?
No. Like, it was supposed to be sunny, but hey ho, the things. Sometimes your country lets you down, but I'll give it another 2 weeks of chance.
Even us in French, it's kind of sunny, nice blue sky. So I send you some positive energy from France.
Please do.
Yeah. So you are in the AI industry since quite a time, one of the top experts in the AI industry, really for real. I follow your content. I saw you in London. You were doing a workshop for AI for listing. It was amazing with a lot of content. So there is a lot to discuss. But first of all, how did you start with AI and what were you doing before that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it was really, really organic. I didn't have a master plan of I'm going to become an AI expert. It was more like, okay, so there is this thing called ChatGPT and I want to test it. And so at that point, I was heading up the Amazon team for an Amazon aggregator. And we were doing, the standard Amazon stuff like listing optimization, content creation, and so forth and so on. And so I thought, okay, well, let's check out if this can do something for my team at that point. So I started playing around and I thought, wow, this is amazing. It's really crazy. And so it was very much through sort of self-learning and experimentation and reading and trying to figure out what other people are doing. And so step by step, I just started learning and self-educating myself, applying what I learned in practice. And then at this point, kind of, it was the start of 2023. I thought, okay, well, I'm doing quite a lot of really interesting and useful things for my team. I think this could be useful for a lot of people in the industry. And so like that, I started my consultancy, Amazing Wave, which is, what I've been doing for the last now 2.5 years.
Oh, great. And you started your newsletter as well at the same time or before?
Yeah, so the newsletter started a few months after. So I went to the $1 Billion Seller Summit in Puerto Rico, and Mr. Kevin King was doing an amazing presentation, which was all about newsletters and the value of newsletters and owning your audience. And I watched that and I was like, hey, this is absolutely right. And so the first issue of the AI for e-commerce newsletter came out on the 1st of August, 2023. And it was read by the grand total of 6 subscribers, of which one was, I'm fairly sure, my husband, and the other one was my mom. So, make the net. But yeah, I have been posting it religiously since then, 3 times a week. And I think yesterday we hit around 38,000 subscribers. So
congratulations.
Quite a journey. It's been awesome. Yeah.
What do you talk about in that newsletter? Obviously it's AI, but can you be more precise about that?
Sure. So it's my kind of like personal geek project. So AI is moving really, really fast. And I'm sure that's kind of something that everyone is feeling.
Yeah.
But especially if you are working in AI, you have to keep always on top of everything that is happening. And so the newsletter was my own personal way to kick my ass to essentially learn and read everything that is happening in AI within our niche. And so I started with just me reading a lot of different, whether it's newsletters, news outlets, YouTube, Reddit, anything that is kind of relevant within our niche. And so what I post about in the newsletter is really two types of content. Like one is very actionable guides, like for example, how to use ChatGPT to create product images for your Amazon listings. But a lot of what I particularly enjoy is the sort of the thought pieces and the analysis about, how, what's happening in the bigger industry is going to affect us as Amazon sellers and e-commerce sellers. So, yesterday I posted about the recent interviews, for example, with Mark Zuckerberg, and how he's talking about the fact that, his vision for Meta is to completely practically replace the advertising agency. And so the idea is that you hand him your credit card and your campaign goals, and then Meta does everything from creative to bid optimization to reporting and so forth, which is crazy if you think about it. And if Mark Zuckerberg is saying that this is what he's planned, well, bet you it's going to happen. And so, the implication then is what's going to happen with advertising agencies? What's going to happen to us as sellers? Do we really trust, how do you trust Meta to score its own work? So, it's this kind of thought pieces that we should all be kind of thinking about and aware, because they're going to affect and disrupt everything we do in terms of e-commerce sales.
Yeah, and you've seen some quite interesting innovation regarding AI that impacting a lot of agencies. Like, do you think AI can replace creative agencies, for example, with what you can do with ChatGPT, generating images and things like that?
Oh yes, the very famous post. So, so for anyone who hasn't seen this post, I posted something on LinkedIn. It went viral. It was supposed to be provocative. So the idea of the post was that AI just killed a lot of agencies, and it was all to do with the fact the sort of the latest ChatGPT rollout in terms of their creative capabilities. So here is the honest truth. I think the answer is yes and no. I think from one side, I think yes, AI would be able to replace a lot of creative agencies that are doing Me Too work. Basically agencies that are not really creative, but are doing more functional work. I think this is going to become less and less valuable, and is going to get more and more handled by AI as AI gets better. But I absolutely think that actually leverages even more the importance of creative agencies. And when we talk about creative agencies that really bring creativity up front and center. So the people who come up with brand new concepts of how to reach and connect with customers. And so, this post got a lot of people very upset. But it wasn't meant to upset anyone. I don't think creative agencies that do truly new, inspiring work are going to go anywhere. They're just going to actually become more valuable, because with more sort of bland, plava AI content, more and more brands will have to create a cut through with truly creative content. But AI is there. It's fact. It's really already very good. And so if you don't have a very differentiated product as a creative agency, and you're just kind of churning bland work, well, you have to have a little think about your positioning and the value you bring to the market, because that's exactly what AI is coming for first.
Okay, got it. So you have to provide more value and use it as a tool, maybe, to save some time and keep being creative. And,
exactly.
That's what you have done on LinkedIn. I've seen a lot of posts of yours, very beautiful posts, well made, etc. And I was like, I want to learn how to do that. And to be honest, when I took the workshop, I was expecting to get some prompt, and I discovered way more than that. A process, a method, everything was very well done. What is your process to learn that and to come up with a precise process like this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the reality is that my journey with AI is kind of the last iteration of my skills. But like, I've been working in the sphere of e-commerce for about like 10, 11 years, and in terms of digital marketing for about 14 years. So I've worked with a lot of clients on strategy and processes before AI, like, or generative AI was a thing. And
Yeah.
so that kind of foundational knowledge about what works and what good looks like was like basically underpinning everything that I do from an AI perspective. So, I learn how AI functions and I experiment with it and I look at, okay, how this tool can be used. But the the best practice is something that I've learned just from, I guess, working in the sphere with a lot of different brands and a lot of different sectors. So it's literally just kind of taking a vertical knowledge and applying my knowledge about AI and kind of mixing them together to create sort of a more efficient, more streamlined process that is very much underpinned with strategy and kind of like, yeah, experience.
Yeah, and I think like you are the example of what you are saying. Like even if I try to do the same kind of images with my prompt, it will be like garbage. I just tried that a few hours ago. I was trying to generate a YouTube thumbnails, and just with prompt, you don't have the creativity to do that. It's only a tool, and you have to have the experience and the creativity to come up with the right prompt, etc. Regarding Amazon sellers, what do you see changing a lot regarding AI, and what leverage can they use with AI to sell better on Amazon?
Yeah, I mean it's a really exciting time right now to be any sort of e-commerce seller, because AI has given us so much opportunity to streamline processes and to learn. And this is the bit that I feel like a lot of sellers are not necessarily leveraging. When I speak with a lot of sellers, the most common thing that people say is, okay, I'm using AI to optimize my listings, which is great. And it's a great start. But the power of AI, and especially right now in May 2025, is to get so much insight about your customer. And that is the true, I guess, differentiation that AI can give you versus your competitors. Because at the end, of course, there is a lot of tools that can do the thing, but it's the question of like, what is your roadmap to connect with that customer? What is your roadmap to differentiate yourself? And what is your roadmap to create a strategy that is not just it's not tactics, it's a strategy. And so, if you're not using something like ChatGPT Deep research to understand in depth your category, your market, your competitors, and your customer, you're missing out. If you're not using your Amazon reviews to mine for insight and understand what these audiences are resonating, why are they buying your product, or why they are not buying your product, you're missing out. If you're not using, like, let's say ChatGPT or another image tool to concept, like, I'm not even saying, hey, use it for
Mm-hmm.
the end image, but to concept, all of the really important benefits, use cases, and so forth for your audience, you're missing out. So there is just an endless amount of ways you can use AI, and it will give you so much edge over competitors, because let's face it, there's going to be a few really good competitors that are more advanced and use AI, but just generally the mass market is still quite behind. And so now it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, yesterday was the best time to start with it and today is the next
Yeah,
best. So
mm-hmm.
I would be very excited if I was an Amazon seller right now.
And you help Amazon seller with AI with Amazing Waves.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of my clients are Amazon sellers who are looking to essentially streamline their processes or find ways to use more data within like their decision making process. And so I help them either through strategic consultancy or through like, in essence, automating a lot of their processes with AI.
Okay, got it. And today there are Rufus. Everybody's talking about Rufus, how to optimize for Rufus. Keywords are dead, not keywords are not dead. What have you seen regarding your experience with sellers
Yeah,
regarding Rufus?
sure. So I don't think it's either or. I think it's both. I don't think keywords are dead. I don't think keywords are going anywhere. And keywords are just, I would say, an element of the whole thing. So they're both true. So like, okay, what is Rufus? Rufus is let's call it a shopping concierge, a shopping co-pilot, which helps customers understand more about the product that they are like looking at. They are trying to understand the features of the product by asking Rufus normal questions as if you are asking someone in a shop. So what does that mean? It means that you have Rufus there to help you improve your conversion rate with that customer that is on the page. So is it important to optimize for Rufus? Oh, damn right it is, because you're not optimizing for Rufus, you're optimizing for that customer. You're just like Rufus is just the vehicle, but what you're trying to do is answer any customer questions that might arise when the customer is looking for your product. On the other side, keywords are still, I would say, the predominant way that customers are searching for products. So do you have to optimize for keywords? Oh, damn right you have to, because like people still search for keywords. But it's not just keyword stuffing. It's not just putting as many exact match keywords in your title and like not caring about anything else. It's about understanding the relationship between those keywords and the wider semantic context of what these keywords supposed to denote. So like, people search for like, let's say very generic thing, but then when they land on your page, they'll be looking for a specific problem they're trying to solve. And so in your listing, you should have that keyword, but you should also have a very clear explanation of how that product that you're selling is solving that problem that they have by like optimizing for what Rufus finds important. So I think whether you are selling in Europe or US, you should be optimizing for both. And you should look at the big picture, which is the way we search for products and just for information is changing. And is changing from a keywords based like plethora to actually a conversational based plethora. And that's only going to become more and more embedded into our habits. And so, do something about it.
Yeah, you have to adapt. You have clearly to adapt. And everything is moving so fast regarding AI. I know you are always testing stuff like you are in your lab and testing new stuff. Have you discovered new AI tool recently that I don't know how to say it in English, but you are amazed by these tools?
That blew my mind. I mean,
You blew your mind, yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's
That's what
funny.
I was
Like I did actually post about this yesterday. The exact hook of my LinkedIn post was this AI tool blew my mind. So like, you practically quoted me.
yeah.
So yes, so like one tool I discovered, but I also was enlightened by Sim Mahon, who was another person that spoke at Seller Sessions. He's called Gen Spark.
Yeah.
And Gen Spark AI is essentially, I would say, the first truly agentic chatbot that I have worked with. And I find it really incredible. I haven't really even pushed it to the boundaries of what it can do, but like just, for example, for collecting data and making it into insightful reports, it's been amazing, but it's only like a small like portion of what it can do. So that has been one of the most fascinating tools. And I feel like, actually one of the things that I saw as well that they rolled out recently is any of their premium subscribers are getting free access, free unlimited access to all of the large language models that they support. And that includes ChatGPT, Claude, and a lot more. So I think it might have the potential to become my favorite tool soon.
Okay, so do you test a lot of tools? What is your? I was wondering what is your daily organization like? You learn new stuff. You publish a lot of content. You are doing a podcast. You have your agency as well. How do you organize yourself to keep up to date and to publish content, etc.?
I don't sleep. No, I'm joking. Okay, well, so it's semi-automated and semi-manual. Like, it's funny,
Mm.
like, I bang on a lot about AI, but I also like a good old pen and paper because you have to keep it human. And also my husband always jokes that I'm going to soon forget how to handwrite, from all the typing. So, my organization is really about, um, being very, very organized about collecting data and processing it in a very quick way, and then spending more time in like reading, analyzing, and then using AI to process even more insight and data. So this is, for example, how I collate the newsletter. I have, let's say, 20 to 30 different sources, like whether it's newsletters, news outlets, YouTube channels, etc. But I don't go through every single piece of content. I kind of like skim through it. I create myself a sort of a final list, and then I go through the very, very interesting pieces in more depth. And then I use a lot of AI to also summarize and give me the main points, of each piece. So that way I consume a lot of information. And from
Okay.
there, I like, let's say, pinpoint certain, let's say, tools or techniques that I want to experiment with. And normally I set myself like free, like thinking days where I just do work and I don't have any calls and I just am able to focus. And in that time, I use, for example, the Pomodoro technique where I work in chunks of 25 minutes and I set myself like one thing that I just really focus on. So yeah, it's about being very organized, very, intentional with my time, and being very selective about what I test and like how I spend my time. Because this is the thing with AI also, there's like a million tools that come out every week.
Yeah.
And most of them are cool, but like, interesting, but they are not really truly innovative, right? And I do include a selection of the most interesting tools in my newsletter, but the ones that I really, really spend time with, they have to have a certain edge, to really spend proper time in learning how to use them.
Okay, very interesting. So you use AI to filter a little bit all this source of data.
Yeah.
How do you select the source of data you want to get?
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of it is is actually also learning. Like a lot of actually, all of my learning is through self-learning and learning from other peers. So whether, LinkedIn is an amazing platform to learn. So I have learned tons about AI from LinkedIn, from other creators that are on the platform, also YouTube and Reddit. And so these are the kind of three places where if I see, let's say, more than one or two creators that I follow really shout out about a tool or give a run through, that is not a sponsored post, but it's actually like, wow, look at what he can do. It goes into my list of, all right, I need to check that out.
Okay.
And obviously I always try to keep it very practical. Like, I would love to say that I'm one of the people that test like hundreds of video tools, but that's not my really like my area of expertise or interest. Like, I don't have the aspiration to start making video ads for sellers. And I don't think that I will ever have the enough time to become really good at that. But what I know very well is, for example, data. So if you show me a tool that can smoosh together like 10 different Excel spreadsheets and give me something really interesting in terms of insight, I'm there. Um, so, it's also based on interest and my own experience.
Okay, okay, okay. And regarding LinkedIn, you are pushing a lot of content every day. What is your next step? What is your goals now? You've pushed some posts that went very viral.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. Like,
Yeah,
you have
sure.
a lot of subscribers, etc. Is it cool? Is it like some dark side? How is it?
Both, funnily enough. So to tell you the truth, like when I started 2 years ago, I started posting on LinkedIn, and it was great because I found a new community. Like when you start a business, especially as a solopreneur, it's a really lonely job. Especially like
Yeah.
I used to manage a team, and my team was. I know that sounds a cliche, but it felt like a family. Like it was my I've been working remotely, but the managing the team and being a part of this team was kind of my motivator, and it made me feel really good and not lonely. And so once I decided to start my own business, I had to just get used to being alone for the entire day with my computer, which I am a social person, and that didn't quite gel with me. And so I started posting on LinkedIn, and then I found other creators in the same space that were geeking about the same stuff. And so it kind of became a little bit of a community. But then I realized that, oh my God, I'm really trying to like become viral. And then it was starting to impact my mental health. And then I said, okay, I need to stop. And so the only like posts that I was really posting for the last, let's say, year were about my newsletter, which was really my passion, is still my passion.
Mhm.
And that changed like, about 2 months ago when the new ChatGPT 4.0 image generation tool came out, and I started playing around with it, and I was like, oh my God, this is so insane that I have to post something about it because I literally cannot sleep. I mean, this is true. Like I posted that on my
Mhm.
post, and people were making jokes of me, but I was like, no, I seriously, I couldn't actually sleep after I got this. So anyway, I posted one post and I was like, oh wow, like people are as amazed. And so I posted the second post with this kind of slightly, um, you know, controversial hook, which was AI just destroyed tons of agencies. And that went absolutely exploded. I went viral. I mean, like the post got something like 3 million views, just that post. I was like, okay, I think I'm onto something. And then I just connected it with growing my newsletter. In the end, all I want is for people to check out my newsletter because genuinely I am so proud of that newsletter. I really put a lot of effort into it. And people like the newsletter because it does bring value. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to post on LinkedIn, and that will help me grow the newsletter and people would actually read it. And that's awesome. And so I've been posting consistently every day for the last more than 2 months. And today I actually hit 40,000 followers, which is insane and very surreal. And like when it comes to like big numbers, it's like very abstract.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was the good side. The bad
Mm.
side is when somebody sends you a shitty DM about like, how you haven't sent them that SOP, or how AI is going to destroy your job or it's going to destroy you, like sort of like passive aggressive kind of tonality. And I'm like, whoa, it's okay, guys. It's literally just content and I'm not meaning any harm. Let's have a conversation. Let's not get passive aggressive.
Yeah, I think AI can get people very emotional because I guess some people don't know how to adapt. It can be scary. You are doing a certain job for certain years and then you see AI coming and you can feel like we have to destroy AI. It will destroy our jobs, etc. So
And I think
yeah,
this is super
totally connect
valid.
that.
And like, I don't at all, I don't negate people's feelings. I am like, I've been doing this whole AI thing for, yeah, like more than 2 years now. And I am super scared. I have moments when I talk to my husband and I'm like, my God, I don't know what's going to happen with us as a society. So it is a scary thing. But at least right now, what I'm sharing is, here is a tool. Right now, AI is not AGI, which is where shit gets scary. Like AI is a tool. And so if you are scared about your job, instead of being like, oh, AI, like, I'm sorry, pardon my French, but like, just kind of getting angry with it, take this as an opportunity. AI is not going anywhere. So you either embrace it and you learn about it and, read my SOPs because that's free education, or, then be scared and then just wait for your job to go. I mean, it's not a choice anymore, sadly. I mean, maybe I would be happier if AI didn't exist, funnily enough, although I've made a career out of that. But it exists. So now it's just about embrace it, learn how to use it, become proficient, become good at it, and use it as a tool. Like I don't see, that's how I talk to myself at night so that I can go to bed. It's like, sink or swim.
Yeah, and I think like the time you will get with AI, the time you will save can be invested in more valuable tasks like creating connection with people and things like that. So today, if your job is doing what AI can do, basically your job is to be a tool. So maybe it's time to improve and to evolve. So follow your newsletter, a lot of content there.
Yeah.
Do you have any YouTube channel or somewhere we can follow you?
Well, I think YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel with 2 shitty videos, so don't follow that yet. At some point that's gonna happen, but at the moment, the main platforms that I use to express myself is really LinkedIn and my newsletter. So if you want to get tons of free SOPs that I share every day, go on LinkedIn and check that out.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing all of that, Joanna. Your content is really, really amazing. I mean it. Like the workshop was very, very interesting. So you guys follow the newsletter. It's a ton of value for free. Thank you for sharing, Joanna, and see you in another episode, maybe.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.